Good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back down to my library. And I have more friends to add to the collection. Like I have more room, but I'll explain. So, I decided to drop on here today to give you guys the most recent books that I picked up in May. So this is going to be my May book haul. So I got some stuff from Amazon, and I've got 2 books from Barnes & Noble. And all these books are from authors that I've read from, especially one that I read more of his stuff. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off with, I'm going to switch it up, my Barnes & Noble pickups. So, without further ado, I'm going to show off the first book. That just so happens to be You Like It Darker by Stephen King. And just thought I'd share that with you. So on the cover here, it's basically like an alligator. And this is his new short story collection. It literally just came out a week ago today. So I snagged it. So this collects 12 stories. And they include Two Talented Bastards, The Fifth Step, Willie the Weirdo, Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream, Finn, On Slide-In Road, Red Screen, The Turbulence Expert, Lori, Rattlesnakes, which by now you guys got to know that this is technically a sequel to Cujo, The Dreamers, and The Answer Man. Now everybody who has been reading this all throughout Stephen King fandom says that this is one of his best modern story collections. So I definitely can't wait to get into this very soon. I don't know when very soon will be. It'll probably be in the next month or next couple months or 2 years. But I'll get to it when I get to it. So that is You Like It Darker. Next is the conclusion to the Indian Lake trilogy, The Angel of Indian Lake by Stephen Graham Jones. I've never read the series yet, but this deals with a girl who just has a fascination with slashers. Turns out there's a killer on the loose on her reservation. So, of course, I really don't know much about this because I haven't read the other 2, but when I get to it, I'll get to it. And all of these are pretty much close to 500 pages. But that is The Angel of Indian Lake. And moving on to the 5 Amazon pickups. They're all by the same author. Okay, back to it. So, the first 2 I want to show off are part of a trilogy, but the other one hasn't come out yet. This one is The 13th Coyote by Christopher Triana, and this is considered to be a splatter western. Didn't think I'd get into that, huh? Well, I'm going to give it a try. So, as far as I know, this deals with werewolves but I'm going to read the synopsis. An evil has returned to the town of Hope's Hill when a grave robber unearths the corpse of Jasper Thurston. A piece of the body is stolen, one that will call the coyotes from across the plains. They are a vicious company of outlaws, part madmen and part wolves. Their leader is Glenn the Dreadful, and he's out to gather the power of the Menhir, a particle from an ancient evil. The fate of Hope's Hill and perhaps the world rests in the hands of unlikely heroes. A rugged U.S. Marshal, a teenage girl out for revenge, an emancipated slave, a nun with a dark secret, and a mysterious half-breed with a number 13 tattooed on his neck. So this really sounds awesome. And he pretty much nailed the characters on here. You get the nun. I guess that is the teenage girl. That might be the slave. And that might be Jasper Thurston. So, I mean, werewolves, splatter, western. Let's do this. So that is the 13th Coyote. And its sequel, which has an even cooler cover, Ballad of the Were-Vixens. And this synopsis reads, years after battling the dreaded outlaws known as the Coyotes, Delia Van Vraken travels mountains and valleys hunting demons that manage to escape hell, but also traveling across the plains is Balthazar Rot. A dope name, I might add. A subhuman who's been alive for centuries. He's been searching for something Delia hoped was forever buried, bringing with him a band of bloodthirsty brides. Meanwhile, young prostitute Josie is discovering new changes about herself, particularly when the moon is full, and when sisters Emma and Pearl find a strange sphere in their hands of a dead preacher. They must band together with crusaders to bring the relic to the reckoning before the Were-Vixens come. This sounds badass, man. And I definitely can't wait to read both of these. Don't know when, but I might get into some splatter western. I mean, that is the dopest cover I've ever seen. Just savor that. Okay, moving on from there, I have 3 more to show off. This is Ex-Boogeyman, also by Christopher Triana. And it just simply says he's not Freddy, he's not Jason, he's all washed up. So, the synopsis here says, as Nicky Hector, the unstoppable slasher from the lunatic horror movie franchise, Jonathan Zane reached levels of fame once unimaginable to a young actor. On top of headlining 15 films, he appeared on MTV, had his own 976 number, and became one of the most recognizable faces of the 80s. But that was 30 years ago. Now it's 2010, and Zane is a has-been celebrity making his living signing autographs at fan conventions. A relic of the bygone slasher movie boom, he's broke, separated from his wife and children, lives in a crummy apartment, and hasn't landed a role in years. When he learns the studio is remaking Lunatic, he thinks it's his chance for a comeback, but Red Max Studios isn't interested in resurrecting Zane's fame. They want the reboot to have a new face to escape the campiness that plagued the latter films in the Lunatic series. For the studio, this is a brand new start. For Jonathan Zane, as the last straw. Discovering the remake is being filmed at the same rafting center as the original, and his former final girl, co-star Lola Lang, is involved, Zane begins a descent into insanity. He slips into his old costume, sharpens his meat cleaver, and brings the Nicky Hector character back from the dead for one last bloodbath. So, westerns to slashers. I love it. So, definitely had to pick this up. That was X Boogeyman. Followed by, this is body art. Art comes in many forms. So, it's not really clear on what this is about, but it just says art comes in many forms. A disturbed undertaker, famous pornographers from the golden age of adult films, and a couple of high school graduates looking for a good time. Brought together by a mysterious red dust, these unique artists will collaborate on the most terrifying work of art known to man. And this is a special director's cut edition. This has a never-before-seen epilogue, intro from John McNee, and it also has a short story called The Devouring. So, this is basically kind of like a movie in book form, if you will. So, sounded interesting, and I love the cover art. So, every chapter starts with that. So, we'll see what this is. And Edward Lee, I meant to say this, his blurb says, Jesus, and I thought I was sick. And he wrote header. So yeah, thought I'd show that off. And the final book I got was That Night in the Woods. And as far as I'm concerned, this is not really extreme horror. It's more of a general horror. It is a little bit longer than I thought it was. It goes to 361. And basically it's about what happened one night in the woods. If like some strange attack happened or a brutal assault happened. Really don't know much about this, and a lot of people really don't talk about it, but I decided to pick it up. So that was That Night in the Woods. And folks, those are all the books I got in May. I'm going to be busy yet again. So, yeah. That's going to do it for this video. And the reason I got some more Triana books is an idea for a video that I have while I'm on vacation in the first week of June. And that is going to be reading extreme horror for a week. So when I do my June TBR, I'll get more into it. But that was my May book haul. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a minute for my June TBR / possibilities. Adios. Peace.